All right, my friend. Well, we're here to tell some people all the things about your complete, utter, amazing story of your business and how you got there. And I hope everyone is inspired by this because we were just crying about it 5 minutes ago.
You were-
Okay, so tell everybody your name and your business name and when you started your business.
Okay. So hello, everyone. My name is Naima Blasco, and my company's Boutique Concierge is based in Beverly Hills, and we started in June of 2017. So we're almost 6 years in business.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to ask this question specifically because I want people to understand that when they're building a business, sometimes what we desire to work with, we need to put in the work to get there, kind of. So I want you to tell everyone, like, who are your clients now? And is this who you were originally working with when you were getting your first clients?
So right now we are working with 10%, I guess, of people who are our clientele is actually executives, entrepreneurs, but these are very, very successful people, high-end clientele. That's what we're working with. And so in the beginning, that was my goal, of course, because there were certain things that I wanted to do with the business and certain people that I wanted to work with. And I knew that those people were these type of people who actually live in Beverly Hills, Bel Air, certain areas in the city that I wasn't ready yet to be working with. So that was my goal. So in the beginning, well, honestly, I didn't have clients for a long time. My goal was so high that the first year, I didn't make any money. And so my first client was a high-end client, but it was just like one time. She needed a very specific project, and that was it. So it took me some time to get to where we are today. But yeah, it's all about, I think it was all about believing in having the patience to to put the hard work to get there, and also for me to become the person who would be working with these people, because you know so many times we are dreaming about, oh my god, I want this, I want that, I want that, and it's like, yeah, but are you the person
Mhm.
that has those things, right? And I was.
Yes. Yes. And so, like, it sounds, I mean, I'm going to be a little cheeky here, but like sometimes people are like, oh, yeah, I want to work with high-end executives, but you're driving around in a hoopty, right? Or you're not putting yourself, you don't put yourself together when you go out.
Mm,
Or you want to work with high-level executives, but yet you don't believe in the like charging for your services that way, or that you would ever charge for that, or that you would ever pay for that, or like we want this, but yet we're not willing to do anything about it over here, right? And we could literally talk about that for hours, but we won't. But so so let's talk about, and I have some numbers here that we're going to share with everybody as well so that they can see the trajectory of your business. And so in 2017 was your first year in business. I think you said you started in June, right? And so you made $0 that year.
yeah.
But look, she did not give up, y'all. She did not give up. That's all I'm saying. And something else I just want to point out too, like you knew that this was who you wanted to work with, and you just kept, and we're going to share like like how this transpired over the years, but you didn't decide that because this is something I see a lot happen where you're like, yes, I want to work with this type of person, but then you're not getting those people. And then you go, okay, yep, no, now I'm going to go for this type of person. I see this happen a lot in the senior concierge industry. People want to work with seniors because they love seniors. It's what their heart draws them to, but then they struggle with marketing in the beginning and they don't get clients. So then they go, oh, I'm going to go after executives because they think executives will spend money easier and faster and that they should go after them first because they're not getting the clients that they want, which I'm always like, absolutely not, because you just haven't learned how to market. That's
Right.
why you don't have clients yet.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes you'll have, like, let's say again, we'll use seniors, right? And somebody will ask you, hire you to do like virtual help or something, right? And you're like, oh, but those are the clients that are coming to me. No, but those are also the clients you're saying yes to, and you're not making sure that you're marketing the things you say out your mouth on the front end are to attract and bring in the clients you really want. So I just wanted to like just have this opportunity to like drive that home just one more time.
Yeah, and also I think that the belief system is key here because that
Totally.
first year, for example, I could have dropped the idea of having a concierge business, right? Because it was so hard to get clients. But what I did instead was like, okay, dear universe, I know my goal is crazy and I know, it's hard to get these people, but I'm willing to be patient and wait until the right clients show up.
Yes. So powerful.
So to me, your system belief it's key.
Totally. Yeah.
So
Because our thoughts create our results.
yeah.
Okay. So that was year one. And then year two, you made $3,000. So exciting. And then I wrote down in my notes that it was like in October of that year that you bought my book and took a few of my smaller courses. And that's when you made your first $3,000. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay. And then 2019, you went from making $3,000 to $46,000. Now, what would you say was like the big shift for you to go from the 3 to the 46 in 1 year? Because that is a big jump for a lot of people in 1 year.
Yeah. So when I started the company in 2017, the first thing I did was to join the Chamber of Commerce of Beverly Hills because that's where my client was, right? And so by the time we got into the year that we went to 46,000, the compound effect had been producing results. And so through your book and your programs as well, I implemented things that I had read before, or maybe that we were going over with you, like the book. Well, that I did on my own, but it was the implementation of those things. What happened that year and after, it's implementing those things that in that year I was learning with you, from marketing to networking to everything. And also I learned that I was networking like crazy. I was a maniac. I was attending everything, right? And following up and everything. But in my case, I don't know if it's because of the city or whatever it may be, my clients are coming from other places, but I'm still putting the effort, because what I learned is that, yes, I'm putting the effort here and clients are coming from here.
Yes,
It doesn't matter, we're still,
exactly.
yeah.
That's what I say all the time.
Yeah, but it's about putting the work, and this is another key besides beliefs, it's being consistent.
Yep.
You have to be consistent.
Yep.
There's no other way. There's no other way to succeed. If you're not consistent, forget it.
Yeah, exactly. And so in that year, 2019, that was the year that you joined my mastermind group. And I put notes on there that you showed up for every single call, no matter what. You moved clients to be on those calls. Now, I know a lot of other people listening to this, they're like, I can't come to the call. I have a client that day. I can't come to the free class. I have a client that day. I can't come to the event. I have a client that day. Or I can't come because I might have a client that day. Why did you literally move people so that you could be present at every single call? And it didn't matter what time of day either, because she's on West Coast, I'm on East Coast. So if I did a 9 a.m. call, she was on at 6 a.m. If it was a 10 a.m. call, she was on at 7 a.m. If it was a 4 p.m. call, it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It did not matter. And she never used the time of the calls as an excuse. So why did you move people and why were you that committed?
Well, that's the word. When I commit to something, I'm there until the end. I'm like, I'm hardcore. And so if I say, okay, I'm signing up for Kelly's this program or that program, I'm there, and whatever it's in the way, you better get out, because yeah, it's the way it goes. But also, education to me is very important, and it should be for everybody. But if we don't educate ourselves, we're not going to grow. And so, if we want to achieve all those results that we want to achieve, the only way to do it is by learning more, and especially you do have to learn by the best, right? And so, to me, it's just like I was having this conversation with somebody else the other day too. When I was super young, I won the lottery with a trip. It's a long story, I won't tell you now. But anyways, my name shows up in this newspaper. A friend of mine called me from the old phones, right? We didn't have cell phones yet. Like, Naima, you won this trip to England. Are you going? And I'm thinking, what type of a question is this? Am I going to England for a month all free? Of course I'm going. So with this is the same, right? There's the program here that is going to give you all these results. Of course I'm going to show up. But not only that, I don't know if you remember, 6 a.m. Yeah. And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Yes. Worked out, showered, ready to go.
Ready to go.
And it's like she was showing up to work.
Yeah. And even if I'm working from home one day, I'm ready to go because you feel different. Mm-hmm. When you dress up and you put yourself together, you take a call from home, but you're there, right? I'm not wearing heels, right? Okay. But still, it's like you feel the power, right? So, yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So that was year 3, $46,000, which, first of all, most people never even hit that far. So just so people know. 2020 was year 4. You made $94,000. So you doubled your business during the vid, during 2020, when everybody was like, I can't make money. I can't start my business, can't move my business. I got to shut my business down, yada, yada, yada. And that was the year you enrolled in your second year in the program with me. And so what transpired that year between the 46 and the 94?
Growth. I remember when COVID happened, right? And everybody went into home and not doing nothing. I called my brother. I'm from Barcelona in Spain, and he owns a business of construction. And I said to him, Ivan, don't stop. Everybody's stopping. You do not stop. Even if you're home, do whatever, but do not stop, because those who don't stop will be way forward than the rest of humanity, because 99% stopped.
Yep.
So I think part was that. Mm-hmm. That was big. And then, like I mentioned before, is the compound effect. You continue to do the things. Yeah. Because it doesn't matter if you put those things into place once, twice, 3 times, it's not going to work. It's forever, and then your business will grow and will change. And then you have to change, right? We were talking before, Kelly. Now I have a team of 2 other concierge. So the systems have to be different now, because what was working until now is not working anymore. Mm-hmm. So, again, it's continuing the growth and continue to implementing all the things that you've learned, and new ones, of course. But it's like, I think also what happens is that we want to learn so much and everything. And now we're taking this class, and now this coach, and now this, and now that. And it's more like, okay, what are your goals? 1, 2, 3. Now, what do you need to get there? Who do you need to become? One, two, three. I do three,
That's it. Three things. That's
you
it.
know, and,
Yep.
and then master those three and do it
Exactly.
every single day, every single day, every single day.
Yep.
And that's, I think,
Which,
what happened that year.
yeah, and that's like, so in the program, I teach how to, I teach you marketing and marketing that works, but you need to implement it consistently. You see the compound effects of it. And then part of it too is like building the systems around it so that you're not spending a whole lot of extra time like doing your, like you had, I taught and continue to teach when people come into 100K club, like how to put your marketing almost on autopilot. It doesn't mean that you just click a button and the computer does all your work for you, but it's so that you aren't wasting all this time trying to figure out, what am I doing, what am I thinking about, how am I going to get clients today, yada yada. And doing that literally was the compound effect of what you did that whole year before. And then that year of not sitting back during the vid, which I had a large group of people that year that were just getting started, literally just started their businesses that year and made $40,000, $50,000 in their first year during that year. Because exactly like you said, I was like, we are not stopping. You are not stopping. Just because the world out there has shut down, there are things that you can be doing internally behind the scenes of your business, your marketing, talking to your community, and being there even when nobody else is. Because when the doors open back up, the clients are there waiting for you instead of you disappearing for 6 months
Right.
and them completely forgetting about you. That was such a pivotal year for so many years,
Yeah, and
or
it's
for
true.
so many people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I remember my marketing was very consistent.
Yeah.
We were there helping lots of people because people couldn't go out,
Yeah.
right? We were shopping. I mean, it was
So much grocery shopping.
grocery shopping. But yeah, that's what happened. Then the following year that we'll talk came all the results from what happened during the COVID year. Yeah.
So then the next year, and then I put down like some things like you also learned that year um how to become a business owner, not just being the errand runner, right? We talk about this a lot in 100K. There are two, we'll say, personas in you. One is the errand runner. That's the one that wants to go out, do the stuff, and get paid. That's the one person that wants to make the money. But then there's the CEO version of yourself, the visionary who needs to think of the future of the business. And so we don't have a lot of time to talk about that now, but I just wanted to lay that out for people that that's how it is. And if you try to let your errand runner run your business, it will run you broke because you're just chasing dollars instead of building impact and building a business that will sustain, that you're not constantly having to chase after.
Right.
And so when you went from, and that was that year for you, and then when you went from 2020 to 2021, you made $164,000. And I wrote down, and correct me if I'm a little bit wrong, but I wrote down this was the year that you broke through all your thoughts that kept you stuck from hiring.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of fear
Yeah.
around people hiring.
That for me was probably one of the hardest things,
Yeah.
hiring. And it's the most important thing in your business, your team,
Yes.
if you're gonna have team.
Yeah. And doing it right.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Always right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I put on here that you were 100% clear on your vision, your mission, your big why, and who your right fit team were for you. And you also learned that year to set boundaries in your business so that you had time for yourself, your health, and your family. And you began to travel again. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Yeah. I took a bit of a few setbacks the next year, but we'll get there. But yeah, that's what happened. It was like I was saying, it was very hard for me to hire, and it took me a long time to find my right fit team member, because it's like the client, right? The same way that we are thinking about the right fit client, we should be thinking about the right fit
Right
team.
fit team.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it was a lot of beliefs and that you helped me so much with, Kelly. And then believing that that person was out there, that it was going to be hard to find, like it was with the clients, you know, it took me forever
Yes,
with
the same
clients too.
exact thing,
Yeah.
right?
But then she showed up
And
and
then she
she's
just showed up, right? Because but you were doing the work. And then I also in the program, I teach a very specific like hiring process on how to find the right people, how to hire the right people, how to train the right people, because otherwise what I see a lot of people do, and they do in a mistaken way, is they get busy and then they just quick like grab it's like grab a friend or grab a neighbor or grab somebody that they used to know. And even if that person ends up being a great fit, like I'm not saying that your bestie can't work for you, like if they're a right fit for your team, but I think people go out and they hire too soon, and the business itself and your own personal mindset is actually not quite ready to have somebody else working under you in a way that your business will continue to grow and you don't have to oversee them or babysit them or be overly responsible for them or answering their questions all the time. Like hiring people so that you have a team that is self sufficient and also is going to help alleviate some of the other things in the business for you so that you have the time to keep building the business. And basically you become like you have to step into leadership of your team, and a lot of people just aren't there. And they just like it's like a grab a friend episode, and you're not actually building a business. You've still built a job for yourself that if you take time off you don't get paid, and the team that you hired are not usually strong enough to withhold the company so that you can take unplugged vacations,
correct. Yeah.
right? So that was a lot of, and so just hiring, it's more than just like going out and finding a body. It's hiring the right people and the right
Yes.
culture and
Yeah.
training them so that, and it's not just like, and I want to talk about training real super fast. Like training your employees, I don't mean like training them how to make a bed, although you can do that. It's about training them how to work within your organization. That's the training.
Correct. Yeah. And being self-sufficient and believing that they can do it.
Yes. And it's
Yeah.
your job to help them be there.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you're literally babysitting team members.
Yeah. Yeah. And then yeah, it's not worth it then. But yeah, it's important to have a vision. That's why you don't want to hire this friend or this one-time thing like this, because if you want to continue to grow, which I think everybody here wants to continue to grow, you need to focus on having a strong team, because without a team, you won't be able to grow. But if you have the right one, you will for sure.
Yeah. And not everybody wants a team, right?
Exactly.
So let's just say that too. Not everybody wants a team. And if you don't want a team, that's totally fine. But
Mhm.
also learn from what Naima has shared too before, like she got to this point before hiring a team. This is the year she went well over the 100K mark and she brought her first team member in. Until then, it was her running the business by herself. But she would have never hit, $94,000 by herself if she was wasting other time in her business, like wasting time on systems, not having systems, wasting time with the way she was scheduling clients, wasting time on clients that weren't the right fit, wasting time in the way she managed her calendar, wasting time on how she was staying consistent in her marketing. Like she learned really importantly how to, and I talk about like we have to, before you want to grow and to like double, usually that's the point where you have to clean up all of your time leaks, all of your money leaks, and your systems leaks, because this is because those three things are going to impact your profitability. Because I've seen other people where they hire a bunch of people but they have no profit. So even though they have a bunch of people who are doing all the things for all the clients, which is lovely, your profit margins have not gone up. They're like the same or slightly bigger, and you've taken on a whole lot more risk for a tiny little bit of profit. So you really have to clean those things up first.
Yeah.
Okay, so then 2021, 164 to 2022, $204,000. Tell us what that was like that year.
That was last year, 2022. So Ellen, my first incredible team member, joined us. And so now it was two of us, and we could make that number. I continued to look for the second person, but it was very hard to find. So I did hire a few, but they weren't the right fit. So they did help add more into that money goal, but yet they weren't the right fit. And so in the meantime, it was very hard for me. Last year was a very hard year because I didn't have all the help that I needed. So we were growing and growing, and it got to a point where I had to start saying no to clients. And it was so painful because here I am, 5 years into my business, working so hard to get clients, and now I have to say no. So that was pretty sad in a way, but at the same time, I always like to say that, it's in the hard times when you learn so much, right? And so last year I learned so much that I learned more than anything the things that I will never do again, like stretching myself so much like I did, to the point of getting really, really exhausted. Like it was really, really bad. So yeah, I started to say no to clients so I could continue to breathe, right? But it was a year of shifting, especially towards the end of the year. I was like, okay, like you were just saying, right? You need to look at where are the leaks, right? Time leaks, or everything. And so up until this point, our company is a membership-based company, but we were also doing one-time clients, meaning somebody would call me from Philadelphia. Hey, can you buy me these shoes in Beverly Hills and then deliver them at this address because it's my sister and I want to give her a surprise? Sure. So we were doing these one-time things. And at the end of November, I was like, that is going to go. That's a waste of time. Yeah, because it's a 2 hour minimum, and it's usually, even if it's 3, the administration things that I have to do, the time with the calls and the billing, I'm like, nice, worth it, Naima. And at first you're like, oh my God, that money is not going to come in. It doesn't matter because I wanted to stop those to focus really on my members, right? And pamper them and give the best customers we can. And so despite all the pain from last year, it helped me to change a few things, including increasing the rates this year. So all these small changes here and there.
Yes.
What's going to happen this year? Oh my God. But yeah, last year, that's what happened. And again, continuing to doing the things that we've been
you didn't stop doing any of the stuff. You continue doing the things.
Yeah.
Your marketing.
Marketing, I did have to stop for a few months because I just didn't have time. I just didn't have time to do anything. And so the most important things right now were the clients, right? We have to deliver. But then what happened? I hired a VA recently. So now the VA is taking care of all the marketing, which means that now I can focus on clients and other things that I need to focus for the company.
Yeah. So good. Okay. So 2023. What are we doing this year?
Well, this year is amazing for many reasons, but this year I started with a goal that you and I talked about, 250,000. And as we were, it's only May, but I don't know if it was in February or March, I was like 250, now 275. So I started to write 275. And then I think it was at the end of March or beginning of April, I was like 300. So the goal this year is 300,000. And what I'm so excited about is that I won't be working with clients. I'm gonna keep one. It's near my house, and it's a big client, so I'm gonna keep that one. But everybody else, I gave to the 2 personal concierge, so I can focus on the growth of my company and getting to the next level. Because what I really, really enjoy right now, and I'm can't believe I'm saying this, is to be the CEO of the company. I don't want to be the concierge anymore. Now, this is what I want to do. But in a way, I'm happy still to be working with this one client, because it gives me also the chance to continue to work with clients, to continue getting feedback, to continue improving the service, right? It's not like I don't know what's going on in the field. I still know. And, I know also from my concierge, because we do have weekly meetings. And so, but yeah, 2023, it's allowing me to have all those dreams that we've talked about, Kelly,
Yeah,
right?
we've been talking.
Like, for example, I'm gonna have all this time, and this was already happening, has been happening since January, but now I'm traveling. I'm from Barcelona. My mom unfortunately has an illness, and so every 2 months I'm going to Spain, and my team is here working. And
And the
I'm
business is still growing.
yeah, and I'm
You're not
doing
even in the country.
yeah, I'm taking a 2-week vacation in June, and then another one in September, because it's a big birthday, and I'm traveling to Norway, you know, and I'm like, good, because I have my super two ladies taking care of everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just at the end of the day, I think that anything is possible. It's just that it's work,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
Do have to, yeah. And I think some people get into entrepreneurship and they see the fun stuff on the outside, because of course in social media, everything's just the bright shiny objects that are on social media. You see all the good stuff. You don't see all the hard work that goes into it.
Mhm.
Um, like there's work. If you don't want to work hard, then honestly, having a job might be better for you. Not everybody's suited to be entrepreneurial. Um, it just is what it is because why? Because we need entrepreneurs and we need workers in the world, which is why, hiring, we have to make sure that we are hiring workers and not people who want to become entrepreneurs. It's really important when you're doing your hiring process there. But so you have worked with me in some capacity for almost 6 years, some shape or form. Programs, first the book, my little courses, then my mastermind. You did the mastermind multiple years over. Now we do some more in-depth one-on-one coaching together. Um, why so you're obviously successful. Okay. Why are you still why did you stay plugged in for so long, and why do you continue to get coaching?
um, there are different reasons. One is accountability, because even though I'm a very consistent person and hard worker, I'm human, right? And I have my setbacks as well. And so when I've been working with you and I work with you, Kelly, I feel like I have someone to not impress, what's the word, to give results, to show what I'm doing, right? It's like I'm just thinking this may be also the reason why I don't like much to do these online classes on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But I need people, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you get feedback.
Feedback.
It's
Yep.
different. So for me, one of the reasons why it's accountability. Another one, of course, it's growth, right? Like I mentioned before, if you wanna get to those goals that you set for yourself, you need to grow. And you could grow in many ways, but it could take you half a century, right? If you do it on your own. So if you want to do it faster and better and with sanity, it's better if you hire a coach. I mean, it's
With
not very
sanity.
right. I mean, it's pretty. And then I don't know. I see, to me, education, it's going to be in my life until the day I die, because it's not only business, but it's personal growth. And they go hand in hand. I
Yes.
started my personal growth journey in 2010, and I see it, coming into my business all the time, all the time. So I always say that if you want to have a successful people, you should always be plugged in some type of program or coaching or something. And I mean, we're not the only ones. I mean, the big shots
Oh
have
yeah.
coaches. It's just
Everybody has a coach.
everybody.
Anybody that has high level success actually has a coach.
Yeah. So these are the reasons why I stay plugged in with you. Also because I love you, but no, but it's been, I don't know. To me, it was always, that was easy. Like I didn't have ever to think about, do I take this program or not? I mean, every time you would say something, I was like, there's never the question like, am I going to do it or not? No, I'm doing everything, even those Facebook ones that you did, anything, 1 hour of coffee. Because I never know when that piece of information is going to show that
Yes.
it's going to change my business, right? It's like
Yes.
you gotta be there
Yes.
as much as you can. Yeah.
That's how I am with my coach too. Like my coach, and I've had different coaches over the years. Like if our coaching calls are at this time of this day a week, like I am there every single call. The only
Mhm.
time I might not be at a call is if I'm on vacation, but I'm going to listen. I make sure that I'm listening to the replay, right?
Mhm.
Um, and if my coach does free things, I am absorbing the information because even, like I'm always absorbing the information, and you never know. And even like that's one of the beauties I see in group coaching too, especially when you are in that like really like fast growth, like learning all the things phase, is because sometimes you need to be coached on something, or you have something that's bubbling up and maybe you're afraid to ask it or whatever, and somebody else gets coached. Like you always can find a lot of times your answers in the coaching that somebody else gives. And sometimes it's tactical, right? Like I want to say that that's, I think, one of the beautiful things about, I'm going to speak highly of myself for a second. One of the beautiful things about my coaching and what I do is I am very tactical. I am very logical. I'm very systematic, and I literally hand over the systems for you to just like plug and play. Of course, you're going to put your own nuances in it, which one works for you better than the other, of course, because we all have our own unique businesses. But with all that tactic, strategy, how to, like, shortcuts, copies of things that I've done, the systems, is also the mindset work, the personal development work, the beliefs, the
Mhm.
thoughts, a little law of attraction sprinkled in there too.
Mhm.
And just like, because I really believe it is, having a business is the greatest spiritual journey you will ever go on, because it brings up all of your shit. And your business can only grow so far unless you are mining the shit between your ears, because that is the thing that's going to distract you the most. Because you can have the most beautiful, well well planned out plan, and not implement any of it because of the stuff you're listening to in between your ears. So it's really important to have a combination of the both.
True.
So I wanted to ask this question too, because I see this happen sometimes with clients who are like maybe in a program, and then, they go through it for, 6 months or a year, that whatever the program is offering, and it's time to, like, here's your opportunity to renew, and let's do it, like, let's go round two. And you never, and I hear a lot of people saying this, that I learned so much from Kelly, or I've learned so much. People even tell me this about my free stuff. They're like, oh my God, I'm learning so much from you. I need to go and implement on my own, and I'll be back.
I
Why
do.
did you never say that? And why do you think that that's not the best use for? Now, it might be the best for somebody, but for the majority of people, why is it not? And why didn't you ever think that?
I'll be back. Because then you're stopping the machine. To me, like I was in this train with you, right? And the train goes, the train goes, the train goes, and we have this rhythm going. If I stop it to take another train on my own, where there's no Kelly or other students, it's going to take me so much longer. It's what I mentioned before, Yes, I have the things, but then who are you checking in with? Because you have this, but it doesn't mean that everything is going to turn out the way you want, right? And then you're going to have questions. And
Mm-hmm.
then you implemented this, but this other thing happened that you weren't expecting. So that's why I never left. And, it's just like, I guess I mean, and if you leave, make sure you have some kind of coaching, right? But it's like I don't see it happening, especially in the first years of your business. The first years, I mean, I don't know for everybody else, but I had never owned a business before, so I really needed coaching in so many aspects. And with your programs, you learn so much. But then again, like I said, you have to implement that, and you need the support. Support is huge. I think support is key. Yeah, it's so important.
Yeah, and I like to think too, like sometimes you get to a point you're like, "Oh, I know I have to do this. I know I have to do that. I know I have to do this." But you're not doing it.
Yeah, and not only that,
Get
Kelly,
stuck.
what happens also is that your business grows, and so you need now new other learning,
Yes.
because like I said before, what was working then is not working anymore, right? And so now it's like, okay, where's Kelly? you know so yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a phrase that we've used multiple times over and over again in the program that I had learned from one of my very first business coaches, and the phrase is "new level, new devil." So it's
Yeah.
like you want to get to, like, for example, I don't know how to get clients. I need to get clients, right? And then I teach you marketing and you get clients. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm kind of feeling maxed out and I don't know where to focus my time now, right? That's the new level. That's the level you were hoping to get to. Now you got there. Now there's a new devil, right? So there's a new problem to solve within the business. So then
Mhm.
it's like, then we need to solve that problem. And then you get there. And then it's like, oh crap, look, I need to hire a team. How do I hire a team? Oh crap, maybe I hired the wrong person. How do I fix this going forward? This is how you do that. And so and now like your business is very, like, the things we talk about now are very different than we talked about 6 years ago. Now we're
Mhm.
talking about like the hierarchy of your business and systematizing things and where you can clean up even other little time leaks,
Mhm.
and in empowering your team and be really being the leader of your team, because you know that when you provide excellent service to your clients and your team, everything else will fall into place.
Yes.
So, is there one final thought that you want to offer as we wrap up?
um, to take care of yourselves in the process, because I'm getting, last year was very hard. And you can't forget yourself and your family, because then it's not worth it, right? It's like these are the most precious people. And so right now, I was sharing with Kelly, one of my big beliefs this year, it's to take care of myself and to love Naima, right? And my word for the year, actually, that I chose in January, is fun, because I didn't have it last year, and this year I'm having so much fun, you know. So just, yeah, focus on. I mean, do your business, but take care of yourself, because you're the most important thing. Without you, there's no business.
Yes. I
Yeah.
think that's the perfect way to wrap it up. All right. Thank you so much, my friend, for being
My
willing to
pleasure.
give so generously of your time and your journey and inspiring others.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, and I wish you all the best.